and welcome to Eat These Words. I would just like to say that on July the 8th it is World Chocolate Day. So with that in mind, I've decided to do a bit about chocolate. So we're going to make a chocolate fudge cake. Before you start, if you just mix 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder with 2.5 tablespoons of boiling hot water and put it to the side. And what you're looking for, I'll just show you, is a paste. Something like this. So in my bowl I've got 8 ounces of dark brown sugar and 8 ounces of butter. You can use margarine and you can use plant-based spread for this. Just make sure you take it out of the fridge before you need to use it, otherwise it would be rock hard and it would be difficult to cream. And we're going to cream these together using the beating attachment for about 5 minutes until they're light and fluffy, and we're going to make sure that we scrape around the edges halfway through just to make sure it's all incorporated. Lovely, lovely. Okay, so we'll set that off, and I just wanted to show you this. Here you go. I don't know if you can see this. This side here is what the colour that you want it to be, and the other side is what's changed. So you want it lighter than that. So it should be this colour, not this colour. And that's from the side of my mixer. So we want to give it another scrape. This is the second scrape down, and pop it in again. So if you can just see that, dark on this side, light on this side. And we need to both have nice and light. You know, chocolate's been around for years, more than years actually, hundreds of years. They think it started around about the time of the Mayans and the Aztecs, though they're not overly certain. It was thought to be good for the heart. They used to process the cocoa beans by hand and add water to it and sometimes milk, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. And spice it. So they'd add cinnamon and stuff like that to it. Yeah, it's considered quite medicinal. So once you've got your sugar and your butter incorporated and it's creamed and it's nice and light and fluffy, it's time to add your cocoa. I would not have your mixer on while you do this bit, for the simple reason, if it gets anywhere, and it will, because it always does, it's difficult to get away from, and it'll fly everywhere, and you can't get it off your clothes, not for love nor money. So right, so I'm going to mix that in. May take a moment or two to do it. I'm just going to have it on a low speed to do that because I don't want it flying everywhere. Now chocolate didn't come, or rather cocoa didn't come to Europe until around about 15th, 16th century. The Spanish found it, obviously, when they took over the Mexican area. One funny little anecdote, well not anecdote, one funny little story is that the British took control over a Spanish galleon that was full of cocoa beans. Cocoa at the time was really expensive due to having to carry it from one side of the world to the other side. And the British, not knowing what it was, burnt the whole ship down. They thought it was sheep droppings. Right, I'm gonna scrape my mixer down again. Lots of scraping of mixers on this one, just because there's lots of addages, or add-ins if you will. So the Europeans had cocoa long before the British did. They were into drinking it, and some people didn't like it because I don't know if you've ever tried cocoa without any sugar in, but it's particularly bitter. But they thought it was an aphrodisiac, so they would drink it. It wasn't until the 1650s that the British actually started to accept cocoa. And it quickly took on in England. The first coffee house to actually have drinking chocolate in it was in London. Ooh. And it quickly took off really from there. Whiz this in, just a little whiz. There we go. I'm going to add 4 large eggs. So to do this, I'm going to lift the mixer because we don't want it going everywhere. So I'm very confident with my eggs, but if you're not, yeah, don't do that, guys. Luckily it's massive. Maybe I should break them into something first. Can't make it up, can you? Alright, we'll whisk that in. Okay, next egg going in. Hopefully not drop my shell in this time. There we go. And we'll give that a beating. Okay, this is starting to split slightly. I'll just show you there. So I'm taking a dessert spoon of flour here. This is self-raising flour. And again, there's 8 ounces of self-raising flour in there. It's like making a Victoria sandwich cake, so it's equal quantities of everything really. And I'll just beat that in with my last egg. Now it's time to take everything off the mixer. So I just want to say that this recipe itself comes from this book here. It's the Home Recipes with Bureau Flour, the 38th edition. I'm suspecting it's from the 1970s, but I could be wrong. It's time to add your flour, and as I said before, it's 8 ounces of self-raising flour, minus the odd teaspoon or dessert spoon that you've used while you were putting your eggs in. So pop that in. Now I always sieve my flour into any cake to get rid of any lumps. And I always manage to get the flour everywhere. Don't know why, but I do. And along with that, I'm adding 65 grams of ground almonds. And we're gonna gently just keep stirring it round and round. I think it was round about the late 1700s that the Navy, the British Navy, started having cocoa as a ration on board their ships, which meant that cocoa started to appear in the colonies, the North American colonies, and that quickly made it very popular. There we go. By 1847, it was so popular that James Fry and Sons had actually made a chocolate bar, the very first mass-produced chocolate bar. So there you go. So I'm going to place my cake into 2 ready prepared 8-inch cake tins. I've got a piece of baking parchment in the bottom, and I have put a good a good layer of butter, margarine, whatever you want, fat of some sort around the edge of it so that my cake doesn't stick. And I'm going to divide my mixture as equally as I can between my 2 tins, and I'll give it a little weigh at the end to make sure and just change it a little bit. And I'm going to pop this into my tins. And we're going to spread these out across our tins. Now I always start from the middle of my tin and work outwards gently. It's always worked for me. I never have domed cakes, so it's always, sometimes there's a little bit of a one, but not generally. This is going to prove me completely wrong and have a dome on it probably, but never mind. I'm going to pop these in the oven for about 30 minutes and check it. If it's not quite ready at 30 minutes, when a a skewer gets poked in and it comes out with something on it, I'll put it in for another 5 minutes and then work from there. So I'm currently going to melt some butter and some chocolate over a low heat. This is called a bain-marie, and basically what I've got here, I'll just turn that down a little more. I've got some boiling water in there. It doesn't look as if it is, but I've had it in the kettle, and I've got it just far enough up so that it doesn't touch the bottom of my bowl. And in there I've got 4 ounces of cooking chocolate. This is posh stuff, it's lint, 70%, and 2 ounces of butter, which I'm going to melt. So my butter's melted and I've turned off the heat because I'm letting the residual heat melt the last of the chocolate here. As you can see, it's nearly gone now. There we go, it's gone. Oh no, a little bit left there. I'm using a whisk because I've got a load of stuff to put in here and I don't want to dirty too many items, basically, you know what I'm like? There we go, that's all melted. So I'm going to take that off my pan of water. I'm going to let it cool down just a little bit because I'm going to add to it 2 egg yolks. So I'm going to give that a little mix up. Just makes it easier to incorporate this into the actual chocolate. Now the thing with adding cold stuff to warm stuff, especially chocolate, is it has a tendency to seize up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add about a teaspoon of vanilla extract to my eggs. So I'm just going to beat that in. There we go. Put that to one side for a second. To add my egg yolks, we need to add them and quickly whisk them in. We don't want to be sticking around for too long because they may scramble, which is not what we want at all. There we go, it's going in nicely. There we go. Give it hell, guys, that's what I say. So, as you can see, it's seized a little. We'll just put it back on the water for a moment. Whoops. To make it less grainy, I think. Hopefully it'll work. Oh my god, that does not look good, does it, guys? That's not good at all.
A few moments later.
Okay, so this is what happens when your chocolate seizes up. I thought it might, and it did.
1 eternity later.
So here is my fudge icing. I just want to say that I saved it. I added a teaspoon of boiling water, and whisked vigorously, and then another teaspoon of boiling water, whisked vigorously, and kept going until I had a smooth consistency, and it worked. So that's how you save your icing if it has seized your chocolate up. To this, I then added 4 ounces of icing sugar and whisked that in. Now all I have to do is ice my cake. So excuse the state of me, I managed to throw quite a bit of the fluid from the chocolate that seized all over my t-shirt. So my chocolate cakes are done. So I'm just going to do a thin layer in the middle and a thin layer on the top, because that's the way we roll. So a little bit at first, and we'll just pop it in the middle. You don't have to do it like this. You could actually just put some jam in the middle and do a thicker layer on the top, but this is probably the way I would roll if I was you. So I'll just spread this gently across my cake, because I'm not an icer, especially not on camera. I do make birthday cakes and the like, but yeah, I'm not somebody who does it professionally, so don't judge me. This is home cooking, I'm afraid. And it's, well, I was going to say at its best, but hey ho, can't have it always. Things go wrong, don't they? So on top of that cake, I'm going to place my other, and I'm going to pop it, oops, on top of the other one. There we go, right on top. And then just cover the top. Here we go. Now if it rolls down the side, I'm happy. What you will need to do is keep hold of it, otherwise it's gonna go everywhere because we've got a layer in the middle. You could put some sticks in it to hold it, but it's up to you. I'm going to, that's that. Oh, the other thing I'm going to do is put some chocolate buttons on the top because I like to. And it'll hide a multitude of things. There we go. This cake was a lovely, light and fluffy cake. I really recommend you give it a whirl. It absolutely was delicious. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Eat These Words. Liz out.